You're at the point where you're considering a solo stove and you don't know whether or not you should buy the Bonfire or Yukon, the medium and large sizes respectively. Next to me, I have the Bonfire and Yukon models, although this is the older 30-inch Yukon that's been discontinued as of 2020 and has been replaced with the new 27-inch model that's about the same size, but just, a little bit smaller. This doesn't appear to make any significant difference with the exception of the fire pit's capacity. And going forward, all the numbers and measurements I'm going to give you are for the 27-inch. And apart from the size, there isn't anything of significant difference between these two fire pits. The Bonfire measures 14 inches high and 19 1/4 inch in diameter from edge to edge. This does not include the stand or the ring at the top of the fire pit. The Yukon is slightly taller at 16 inches high, also without the stand or ring, and measures 27 inches in diameter. The Bonfire feels like it weighs next to nothing at 20 pounds, while the new 27-inch Yukon weighs almost double that at 38 pounds. One key difference to point out between these two fire pits is the height the actual fire sits from the ground. This is important if you're considering putting this on your deck. In the Bonfire, the closest the fire will come to the surface it's on is about 3 1/4 inches, while the Yukon keeps the fire about 6 inches from the ground. Again, neither including the stand. If you purchase the stand, this will add about another 2.5 to 3 inches of space between whatever surface it's on and the fire. And this begs the question, are these safe to use on a deck? Generally, yes. Solo Stove has said so on their Instagram. However, in the Solo Stove Facebook group, others have reported it's not. The issue is the heat stress that can be put on the wood or composite deck. It can wear out over repeated exposure to the heat over a long period of time. So to be extra safe, if you plan on doing this, place a few concrete pavers below your Solo Stove, and that appears to be a very inexpensive fix. If you want something a little more stylish, a heat reflecting shield is your safest bet. Links to those in the description. Let's talk about the heat output. Yes, the Yukon will create a bigger fire, which means keeping more people warm. However, if you're looking to stay warm and actively have heat moving towards you, you need a deflector. Have you ever seen those propane patio heaters? The ones that have a sort of garbage can looking lid on the top of them? That's a heat deflector, which is meant to deflect the heat down towards the people around it. The same concept applies to these and any other fire pit you buy. You need something that deflects the heat back towards you, since physics says that heat radiates up, not out. So all you need is a basic heat deflector. It can even be a garbage can lid if you want, as long as you have something to prop it up on safely. With Solo Stove's new grill attachment, you can maybe even place a large piece of sheet metal, whether it be a pan of some sort, on top of that to deflect heat out. If you plan on purchasing one of these, your best bet might be building a table like I have here and using something like the heat warden or something similar to place on top of it. I have a full how-to on building this table that can easily be done in a weekend. It'll fit any fire pit up to 30 inches in diameter, including the old Yukon and Brio's line of fire pits. I'll also include some links below to other tables that are more ready-made and can be purchased direct off Amazon. So how portable are these? While neither are permanent structures, since I have them both in my garage here, the Bonfire is obviously the easier one to move. It comes with this canvas bag that actually feels pretty durable. Like, it's not a cheap add-in that will only hold up for a few uses. This thing actually has what feels like a waterproof lining on the inside, and it feels like it can take some abuse. For the Yukon, you can move it, but you'll probably need at least 2 people to do it, unless you don't mind rolling it. Most importantly, let's talk about how much wood you'll be using with each. To get a nearly smokeless fire, you want to have these fire pits roaring. You'll get the super cool double flame effect at the top and a truly smokeless experience, assuming you're using the correct wood. Now, will this burn any wood? Of course, it's a fire. However, given that the Yukon is significantly larger, it does require more wood to keep the fire going. Over time, the cost of this wood adds up. I ran a test here to find out how much more specifically. Before I started filming today, I built a generous bed of coals in each fire pit and measured out 2 piles of wood that are the same in weight with no bark. I started filling each fire pit up until they went fully smokeless and the double flame effects were going. I kept feeding the fires to keep those effects going until I ran out of wood. Presumably, the Yukon will and did run out of wood first, and when it did, I recorded how much I had left for the bonfire. The remaining amount of wood gives us an idea of how much more the Yukon will use over time. In short, the Yukon will use approximately 21.9% more wood per burn, based on this test. More in-depth details on this test can be found in the link in the description. One other complaint I have with the bonfire is it will not always fit a standard 16-inch split log. After building up a coal bed, it seems to elevate a fresh piece of wood just enough above the upper rim that you may still get some smoke produced. The problem becomes more apparent as you try to add more wood, and the only solution is to cut your wood into smaller pieces, which can be a hassle since wood comes standard in 16-inch lengths. Lastly, let's talk about cleaning. This is one of the things I hate about the solo stove. It's very difficult to get all of the ashes out. The ash pan isn't accessible, and the only real way to clean them up is to tip them upside down and roll them around. Obviously, the bonfire is the easier one since it's smaller, but nonetheless, both are pretty equally inconvenient. The bottom line here is you'll save money in the long run with the smaller bonfire. If you're looking for the heat output and staying warm, the Yukon combined with a heat deflector will keep you toasty on those chilly nights. My recommendation is this. If you have a family of 4 that just likes to go out and sit around the fire sometimes, the bonfire is the perfect size for that. However, if you do want something warmer or you envision having multiple guests over, then the Yukon is the way to go. In reality, I don't think you're going to be dissatisfied with either. Be sure to save some cash for additional accessories. I've included a link in the description to one of my articles outlining over 40 different accessories you might want to consider for your next bonfire. If you're serious about cooking over the fire, you're going to get more bang for your buck with a Brio. More on that brand in the links in the description. Don't forget to check out my other videos, and until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you later.